Hello, everyone. Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to another episode of the Back of the Pack podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Walker. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for joining me for this extremely hot week of running and podcasting. Holy cow, Mother Nature has lost her ever loving mind. And here we are, just sweltering away with 5 straight days with temperatures well over 100 degrees and a heat index that just yesterday touched 134 in the area. Yeah, no, really. No, it really did. That was 134 degrees heat index yesterday, hit at the airport in Lawrence, Kansas, which is just right down the road. Because you know where I was yesterday? I was in Lawrence, Kansas. Yes, yesterday was Rexy Run, the 5K and 8K, brought to you by Baby J's Legacy of Hope. That was yesterday morning. Actually, no, sorry, 2 days. That was Saturday. Yesterday, on Sunday, we hit the 134. So I was off. I sit corrected. But we had a wonderful time at that race. We have had the folks from Rexy Run on before, and both Erica and Christina from Baby J's Legacy of Hope and Rexy Run. They've come on several times and talked about their wonderful event. Hopefully, you have caught those episodes. We didn't have them on right before this year. Probably should have. That's kind of my bad. So, y'all, I apologize. I definitely should have had you on and talk about the Rexy Run. I dropped the ball on that one. I will accept full responsibility for messing that up completely. But we had a great time. I went out there, back of the pack, right, let me say it right, the back of the packettes. My daughters, they came with me, helped man the table. The folks at Rex were kind enough to give us a table to help promote the KC Hustle Run coming up on September 17th. So don't forget, that's coming up. You're still going to hear more about it. So we went out, we had a table, we got to talk to folks. We had a great time. The race itself, it was hot because we're in excessive heat warning and it's really hot. We've got a week of terrible temperatures that are just going to be across the area, and we just kind of have to deal with it at this point in time. It's August. This stuff happens. Hopefully, here in a few weeks, we might finally get that break in the weather that we all hope for. Start feel like spring running is coming, is finally. But we've at least got a solid month of still probably some uncomfortable temperatures. So let's not get too excited. Don't bust out all your pumpkin spice lattes just yet because we're not out of the woods, but we're getting close. So Rexy Run, I hope you guys had a good turnout. It looked like a great event. They had to move some stuff around due to some construction that was within the park. But again, as far as I could tell, that race went off without a hitch. The folks were wonderful. It's a great cause. Good to see a lot of kids out there. There were a ton of kids. They did the Dino Dash, which is their kids run. And then, of course, there were people who benefited from the race, which goes to Baby J's Legacy of Hope that helps combat childhood cancer. Again, we've talked to them before and had wonderful conversations. This podcast has really kind of developed a heart for helping those for getting through the childhood cancer stage of life, because as you know from our first time talking to them, we found that only 4% of cancer research funds goes towards childhood cancer. There have been people who have tried to, I wouldn't say argue, no one's going to argue, but there are people who have tried to reason with me that, well, the reason it's 4% or it's 4% because there is no acceptable reason that I personally will accept that 4% of funding in the whole spectrum of cancer research goes to kids. Only 4%. I will never understand. I will accept. So I understand that people have very politely and kindly reasoned with me. I am being reasoned. I will not accept this as a thing. So I will always support Baby J's Legacy of Hope and the Rexy Run and what they are trying to do. This is why we chose St. Jude as our charity partner for the KC Hustle Run. Again, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. They are at the forefront of fighting cancer with kids. That they are our charity partner. Baby J's is one of our close charity partners that we get to work with. This is not by accident. This is absolutely on purpose because 4% is ridiculous, and I will hit this on the head as hard as I can every chance I get. I have a chance right now, so bang, bang, bang. I'm going to hit it, and there we go. I will now dismount off my soapbox and again reiterate that Rexy Run was awesome, and we will be back next year. It was so great to see the amount of runners and people who I know at times listen to this podcast. I know not everyone probably catches every episode, although you should. But we have so many people, friends of the show, I will say, that were in Lawrence that morning for Rexy Run, and I can't thank you all enough for being there. Again, I know I've been hammering this race hard, and it was so awesome that everybody showed up. So if you were there at Rexy Run in person, or even if you were there in spirit and something else came up that day, look, y'all, thank you so much. You're the best. You're great. It was so wonderful to see all of our close running friends out there, and I really had a great time. And I hope that it really helped bring more runners and more awareness to the event, so that they can continue to grow. It'll be even bigger and better next year. You can't hardly see, but I am wearing, there we go, wearing my Rexy Run shirt today because it is that important. And so thank you, everyone who came out. And I know that Erica and Christine will reiterate that thanks as well. So thank you to everyone who came. So what we're going to kind of talk about still along the same lines happened at Rexy Run. The great folks, the great and wonderful and amazingly talented crew at Mile 90 Photography, they are at the Rexy Run every year, and their pictures are amazing. Now, the reason I bring them up is a few reasons. Firstly, they are the same people who will be doing the pictures at the Casey Hustle Run. They can make everyone look good. They take pictures of me where I look at it like, wow, that's a picture of me. That doesn't even look like me, because this is a good picture, and I look like this, and I have my face for radio. But no, they do a wonderful job. So I saw after the event, they took a picture of me that I didn't know they were taking. So what a can, I suppose it is called. And I'm working the table for the Casey Hustle Run. And you can see it's me talking with my hands, which I do at times, which you can't always see with my little webcam here. But they took a picture of me, and I was talking to two other runners. I was telling them about the race. They were not people that I knew, they were people that I just met. And I got to tell you, I love it. I love that picture because it just shows how much I enjoy getting out in front of people and talking about either the Casey Hustle Run, which is kind of our current thing, or just the Back of the Pack podcast, which, as you guys can clearly tell, as we're almost to episode 75, is a passion of mine. I love getting on here and talking every week about this. I love talking to you all about running. I love exploring new aspects, talking about new races, going over tips and tricks, and talking to the people who like, hey, I went through this. Your podcast talked about this, and it helped me because of this. I live for this stuff. It's what makes me super happy. And I feel like that photo they got of me just kind of encapsulates all that. I'm standing there talking to two people I haven't met at my table in my running gear, and we're clearly just talking about running. I'm telling them about the race. I'm trying to get them excited for what excites me, which is the running and the racing and the podcasting. And so it was really great. And it got me to thinking, despite all this, even though all this is true, I am still not the best in the world of the running community. I love the running community, and I'm really trying to build some semblance of a running community, Back the Pack podcast, and the Casey Hustle Club, the Casey Hustle Run. And we're doing a lot of that, and we're really building it, but we're also kind of pulling in from other running communities. And again, I don't ever want to take away from someone's community, but I see you guys, and I see all the people involved in various running groups and running communities around town. And I'm actually a little jealous because of how tight the community is. The running community, I'll argue that here in Kansas City, our running community has to be one of the strongest in the country. I argue that against anyone who wants to go against us. The people I see are amazing. So I wanted to talk a little bit this week about, just running groups and running communities. And again, this is all just what semantics, it's how you're phrasing it. I kind of look at these as all kind of the same thing. We are building a running community here with the Back of the Pack podcast. And there is a huge group from the Kansas City Running Company. They have a big group. There's the good folks who do Fridays on the Lawn, and that's the Kansas City Track Club. They do, I think they're still Track Club. I might have said that wrong. If I did, I apologize. This is just, I'm going off the top of my head here. But I know the brand Fridays on the Lawn is the big thing, to the point they even have shirts out there. And Alex, if I said it wrong, you can bust me on it. But there are so many different groups around town, and I think it's great. And I wish I could go and do all these groups, but honestly, they still intimidate me. They really do. I kid you not. I've never been to a Friday on the Lawn, and I've never been to the big Wednesday night group run, and I haven't been to the Kansas City Running Crew or I'm getting them all wrong now. in my head, all these acronyms are getting all messed up in my brain. I'm sorry to everyone. But I know the big group that runs on Saturday mornings, especially in Shawnee. There's a lot of different groups. They all do wonderful things, and yet I am still too chicken to actually go to them myself. Reason being, and this is because I know people give me crap about this. This whole podcast comes from a guy who has always identified in the place of a back of the pack runner. I have been slow for so long. Now, yes, I lost a ton of weight and my times have gotten a lot faster than they used to be. But when you look at all my 5Ks, and we're just looking at 5Ks, and I have a spreadsheet and I have them all and I have them in order of finishing time. Okay. And then on the side, I have my average. Okay. I have the amount of races, divided by the times and my average time. My average time in my career of running 5Ks, it only drops by like 3 seconds now per new faster race. My average time is still over 40 minutes for a 5K. Okay, I would love it to be close. I still only have 2 races in my entire life sub 30 minutes. My average pace or my average finishing time is still over 40 minutes. So I still identify as someone who is more of a back of the pack runner, even with the faster times. So I take that mentality towards this group effort. And I feel that if I go to any of these races, I'm going to be the guy that gets left behind. I'm going to be the guy that gets left in the dust. I'm going to be like, okay, everyone, to hit our training run, they've set up an aid station, a mile, whatever. You can turn around at this loop and make it to this course, at this and make it to this course. And I'm always fearful I am going to be the last guy across the finish line. Or better yet, because this has happened to me once in an actual race, and not a group run, but an actual race, I'm going to cross the finish line and everyone's going to be gone. They will all have already been packed up and they're down the road and off to their next thing. And that's just, you could say it's just a fear. It would be deflating to my fragile ego if I cross the finish line and everyone's gone. It's just, hey, where'd everybody go? That's actually happened at a race. Yes, I think I've told that story, but if anyone wants to hear it, I'll tell it again sometime. Won't go into it right now. That is why I have stayed away personally from the group run situation. But I am also, I can observe enough to say that the group runs and the communities around here are all amazing and they're filled with amazing people. My fear is irrational. It is an irrational fear because I know at this point this is not going to happen. I'm not going to be the last one to cross. I'm not going to be left behind because even if I were the last, people aren't leaving other ones behind at this point. There are people going out at every skill level imaginable. But again, it's just, this is a me phobia. This is me being ridiculous. But I want to encourage you, a lot of you, especially some of you who are newer to the running world, to start looking at these groups and these communities. Because even though I don't have all the firsthand experience, I have a lot of experience now, especially over this 1.5 year period of doing this podcast and meeting so many of the amazing runners in this group, in this area, that I just kind of feel like I need to start being better at telling everyone how amazing these people are and just how much running with them, or even just seeing a friendly face on race morning, how better you will show and you will do because of the really good people around you. And that is no kidding. That is no lie, no exaggeration. We are running better together right now. We really are. We are running better together as a running community. I know that I am more so than I ever did on my own before I knew all these people and before I met people and before I did the podcast. When I would go, I would put on my little outfit and I would, go to the start line, turn on my music, wait until they fired the gun, cross the finish line, go home. I didn't interact. I didn't talk to people. Maybe if I had seen a person several races in a row, maybe a head nod or a wave or hi, something like that. But it never has been like it is now, where I look forward to the people that I see and I look forward to seeing their results, which I know will be better than mine. And then also when I can cross and wait for others to finish to support them. I feel like all this, we are all doing better together than we ever would by ourselves. I would love to know what you think. If you agree with that statement, please let me know. If you've already made it this far enough into the podcast, if you've already turned it off, you'll never know and you can't answer. So, but if you agree with that, let me know. So what I did is I wanted to talk about some of the things I could find online when it came to running groups and just running groups, running communities. And if you are new or if you are inexperienced like I am, because I'm not new to running, not by any stretch of the imagination, I'm almost a year 14, but I would still be completely new to a running community or to a running group because I've never been to one. I'm building one through the podcast, but I have never actually been to one. So let's talk about it. This is how to find your running community. This is done by Fleet Feet. They are a huge national company. You know, they took over the Gary Gribbles sports here in town. So trust me, they're big stuff. They know what they're talking about. So here we go. Here is what they talk about on finding a running community. It says, for many runners, one of the greatest joys of the sport is belonging to a running community. Running friends give us motivation and encouragement. They empower us to get out of bed when we don't feel like running. They understand the ups and downs of the sport, and they don't judge for our snot rockets or for being slow, like I can sometimes be. So if you're new to running or moving to a new town, how do you find your people? First, consider what kind of runner you are, and then what kind of support do you need? So here we go. Here's the first one, the newbie. Why not start with the newbie? The newbie, are you just getting started or coming back after a long break? Awesome. Look for a non-competitive group that offers guided training sessions. As a beginner, be sure to make your running goals approachable so you don't burn out or get discouraged. Having a mentor and a team helps. Perfect. That makes all the sense, right? So we're going to go with that. Next, the other end of that spectrum, the competitor. Seeking a serious training. Looking for a group that will push you harder than you can push yourself alone. Consider a group that meets for regular speed workouts. You may benefit from joining a race team and seeking a coach who can help you reach your goals. I've certainly seen plenty of this around town. All you have to do is seek them out. Our other buddy, Alex, I know you do track work, Ambassador Alex. Again, if you've made it this far in the show, let us know who you do your track work through, okay? Because you're a competitive, serious runner. I know you guys are out there doing all sorts of crazy track things. So for the competitors, that's what you want to do. The next, the trail runner. Want to get away from the city noise and pounding the pavement? Look for a local trail crew. Trail groups can help you navigate the woods, find the best overlooks, and show you hidden spots you didn't know existed. And as much as, unfortunately, and I hate saying this, it feels like running is kind of down right now, I would venture to say that trail running is actually on the way up at this point. I see a lot more trail running posts these days than I can ever remember seeing before. So for what that's worth, kind of feel like that's a thing right now. Next is the social runner. Want something laid back and just for fun? Look for local pub runs or volunteer groups. Many towns have groups that meet for sunrise runs that end with breakfast. Some groups even keep things interesting with scavenger hunts. That's kind of fun. And I've certainly seen plenty of examples of people who all get together and they will go out for breakfast after a race. Especially if you do a race at English Landing Park up in Parkville. I think, what is it, the Corner Cafe? Everyone who runs a race after that race goes to the Corner Cafe in Parkville because that food is so good. You guys want to sponsor us? But no, your food is so good. And then next, the ultra runner. Looking to increase your distance, the miles go by faster with friends and conversation. As the ultra running scene continues to grow, more groups are popping up that put in long hours and miles together. Everyone is different, and you will likely fit into multiple running groups. Some won't be right fit, and that's okay. Maybe you just want to have fun, and the racing team is way too serious. No worries. Try a few group runs and find the ones that are right for you. Once you know what you're looking for, seek out people and training plans to support your needs. All right, so like that's pretty self-explanatory. That all makes sense. That's kind of right around the lines of where I was thinking in these regards. The article continues on, so let's go with it. How do you, or where to find them? Where do you find these people? Where do you find your running tribe? Runners are all around, in neighborhoods and parks, on city streets and local tracks. If you're looking for other runners, you're sure to find at least one group that aligns with your goals. Fleet Feet across the country, and there are 3 in this area, have running clubs for every level, surface and distance that you may want to explore. Your local running store is a natural gathering place for the running community. Most employees will know about running groups and events in your area. While you're talking with an employee about running shoes, how they should fit, ask about what's happening with the local scene and how to get connected. So here's things that you can ask about. You can ask about what social runs can you tap into? What are the favorite races in town? Well, you need to go no further than the Back of the Pack podcast if you want to know about local races. How can you get connected as a volunteer? And again, every race website has volunteer forms up to and including the KC Hustle Run coming September 17th to Corporate Woods in Overland Park, Kansas. Volunteer positions are still available. Is there a local relay running team that needs another member? And I will one up that, and I will say that a few people around town I have seen doing triathlon relays. So I think that's another thing that's kind of on the rise, are people who aren't doing the whole triathlon themselves. They're taking a leg of the triathlon. So I saw that we had a group that we had elite level runner, I think it was Eddie, who did the run, and then Lay did the swim, and then they had someone do the bike, or I'm in some kind of order there where you can have 3 people do a triathlon, so you get a triathlon relay. I think that's pretty cool. I would definitely be in for something like that if I'm doing the running part. The bike and swim part can go straight to hell. Oh, sorry, did I say that? Sorry, Sarah and Amy. So anyway, let's continue on. Whether you're looking for pals for a weekly run or traveling to a new city for the weekend, social media is another great way to find your tribe. Hello. Strava, the online fitness community, is more than just a way to keep track of your own runs. Check out your local groups, find common routes, and check your flybys to see who passed on the runs. Give kudos on their run and maybe start together next time. My Strava is growing by leaps and bounds, actually. So if you are on Strava, make sure you find me, Kyle Walker, and please join me. I will follow you back because, yes, I've noticed that the Strava community is very encouraging. I will go for a lunchtime walk, and before I know it, I'm getting likes all over the board from people on my little 1 mile, 20-minute walk. So that's great. Everyone is super supportive in that community. So that's cool. Sign up for virtual running challenge. These are a great way to get motivated and bring some friendly competition. I will go one up on that and say that a few years back during the coronavirus situation, we did a virtual marathon. A whole bunch of people and I had signed up for one. We ended up running it kind of as a relay ourselves. So we went out to a park, and then you might think this is cheating. We really didn't care at this point. It turned out to be a much colder day than we had planned on. But we kind of all just turned on our GPSs, whether it be on your wearable or on your phone. But we took them all. Everyone hit start. We put them in a bag, and then we all took turns. We had a 1.5 mile loop, and so I would do the first mile, and maybe my daughter would do the second mile, and then Daniel would do the third mile, and Kelly would do the fourth time around. And we did all that until the full marathon was done. And then we took all the wearables out of the bag, and we all hit stop. So. Hey, but it was a fun day. Like, it took a few hours, and we all had a good time. Those who weren't on the trail actively doing their 1.5 miles, we were throwing a football around, or sometimes, some folks brought out their pets, so we had some dogs running around, plenty of food and drink, and just kind of made a day of it out at the park. And it was really super amount of fun. So, if you have a virtual race that you've signed up for, and especially if it's a really long distance one, get some people to do the same virtual with you, or break the virtual up, because again, it's just a virtual race. And add a team and make it kind of its own makeshift relay. We did it. It was super fun. It's definitely something I would do again. Next, Facebook is often the first stop for looking for local groups and events. True. And again, you can always find stuff on the Back of the Pack podcast Facebook page. We're there. And that's probably what we update the most. That and Instagram are our 2 biggest social media platforms for the Back of the Pack, because I'm over 40 and I don't know about all this newfangled stuff. I tried TikTok for about 30 seconds and I was done. Finished. Anyway, Meetup is another popular site used for social groups all over the country, including runners. This is often a good way to find grassroots groups not associated with a particular store, team, or organization. Sure, I know nothing about that, so I cannot shed any light, but what is it called? Meetup. So that's another route you could take if you want to kind of look at more of a non-traditional way of getting into a running community. Goodness knows what you'll find. Maybe something great, maybe something mildly frightening. Tough to say. I didn't know. So let's see. You can also check out the local race scene. Whether you're lacing up or volunteering, races are a great way to find your community. If you're wanting training partners, look for folks who run at a pace similar to yours. If you'd like to join a race team, look for groups with people in matching singlets Talk to the race organizers and volunteers, cheer on the runners, find ways to be helpful, make friends, and get connected. Finally, explore organizations that need volunteers. Races are an easy place to start, but there are plenty of other options. For example, check out local animal shelter. Many shelters have volunteer groups that run a walk with dogs that need exercise. If mentoring is more your style, you could sign up to be a coach or running buddy at a local chapter of Girls on the Run or Junior Olympics. Volunteering is a great way to build relationships and community. And yeah, Girls on the Run, that's a good idea. Working with them is not bad at all. My daughters both did that, back in their time of being eligible to do Girls on the Run. I'm not sure when that exactly stops, but I know they ended around middle school time themselves. But they did that for a while, and that was great. And so let's say you get into a running group, and you know what? I hope you do. Maybe we can kind of call the Back of the Pack podcast group a little bit of a running group. So I found this. I thought this would be kind of fun. These are 9 ways to keep everyone engaged in your running group. Let me get to them. All right, number 1. This is how we're going to start doing running groups. So this is going to be the fun part. Group training plans. Group training plans. There's no I in group. Contact a local race that you think your group would be interested in running and see about a group discount. Provide your members with the discount on race entry and make it a club event. There's nothing like working towards a race together that will keep people coming back for more. Or listen to this podcast and do the races I tell you to. I told you to do the race. I said be at Rexy Run. You weren't there. Shame. I'm kidding. Yes, you were there, and I'm glad you were. But I will always tell you the races that we are going to be at, and I love seeing everyone there. So, if you're part of the Back of the Pack group, I will let you know what races we're going to be at. Next, offer incentives. What's in it for me? Well, besides a great workout with even better company, think about what else you can offer to your running crew. Consider contacting local race organizers for discounted race entries. Sounds familiar. Local running stores and even healthy food and drink companies for product donations. The more you can give back to your community, the more they will give back to you. It's a win-win all around. So if your group can offer any kind of incentives, if you have kind of a hookup, make it happen, Captain. Number 3, initiate challenges. We all like a little healthy competition. Get people to come back by offering up challenges. Try a virtual race for the most miles completed per month or most active members in terms of minutes. Consider offering prizes and sending out leaderboard messages each week. You can easily do this in your club's sweatguru.com dashboard. Never heard of sweatguru.com. Maybe I'll have to look into that. Not sure how to initiate a challenge? Visit sites like fi.tt, that sounds like fit, with a period in the middle, or Challenge Loop for inspiration. I'll have to look into those. Number 4, mix it up. One of the best ways to keep people coming back for more is to make it too damn fun to pass up. Consider swapping out one run a month for a happy hour, or partner with local yoga or fitness instructor for a monthly workout session. Or partner up with local health professionals for clinics on nutrition, training technique, and complementary cross-training to round out your regimen. Okay, that sounds fun. Number 5, a paid membership. If you're looking to grow your group or offer incentives, i.e. race entry discounts, t-shirts, local running store discounts, it might make sense to have a yearly membership fee. You could use it to cover group outings, happy hours, workout classes, and even branded swag. Plus, people are more likely to commit to things if they pay for it. For an easy solution, you manage your club and memberships on sweatguru.com. All right, well, I think we know who might be sponsoring this article. Just a guess. Number 6, branded swag. Another great way to incentivize members and get them to do some marketing for you is to create fun branded swag, t-shirts, hats, and water bottles that have your group's name and logo on them. Not only a great way to make members feel more connected, but also helps you advertise your club to others. And if members aren't paying to be a part of the club, you can always sell branded swag to help cover the costs. Well, I wouldn't know anything about wearing branded swag right now unless you're looking at the YouTube, in which case, yes, we do have branded swag. We have t-shirts, and I can get hats done. You just have to let me know you want them, and then I will bill you. Number one, please. That's a 7 right there. That's what that number is. Be a brand ninja. Okay. If the majority of your group likes running with goo or drinking nun, reach out to those brands to see if they will donate product or even sponsor your group for a race. It's a great way to keep members coming back, and it also gives brands a terrific channel in which to keep loyal fans engaged with their product. Number 8, be social. If you're having trouble acquiring new members or retaining your current ones, make sure you're showcasing to everyone in your community just how much fun you're having. Whether you have a website or have listed your running groups in Sweat Guru, really, Sweat Guru, no kidding. Make sure you also have up-to-date social links, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, where you can document all the fun you're having, take group photos, action shots, and group outings. Just be sure to use a designated hashtag. Makes sense. Last and not least, we kind of do this, except maybe it's more of a podcast thing than this, but whatever. Blog. If your website has a blog, make sure you not only talk about what's happening with your run group, but also with your members. Encourage them to share race recaps, photos, and workouts to keep people engaged and motivated. Got a writer in the group? Ask them for a guest post to lend another voice and give everyone an inside perk at training from one member's perspective. So I thought that was fun. Just 9 ways, if you are part of a running group, to keep things more engaged, keep them a little spicy. I might try and steal a few of those ideas myself. I definitely like the branded idea. The more Back of the Pack podcast swag that we get out into the world, the better. If you guys are interested, all you got to do is let me know. You can still go to the website, backofthepackpodcast.com. There are still t-shirt orders that you can place if you are so willing. For the Casey Hustle Run, we're not doing t-shirts as so much. We're doing the beanies. So we're going to have a whole mess of beanies running around town after September. So trust me, after the race on September 17th, I cannot wait for the first cold snap to come this year, because I will be rocking my Casey Hustle Run beanie all over the place, and it's going to be amazing. So anyway, I hope you guys found that mildly informational. Again, if you are someone who has been intimidated by the group run and the whole, I don't know, just the whole neighborhood kind of feel of running, don't be me. Be better than me. Don't be a big wimp like I have been for so long about getting out and doing a group run and just joining any of these great communities. It's totally worth it. You're going to have fun, and I need to not be ridiculous. So rather than going out and starting my whole own little community, which I've kind of done with this podcast, I need to also support the ones that are local. And even though I do have my team membership to one of them that I paid for the year, I am still not out at group runs, and I kind of feel like a jerk face for it. It would only help to kind of strengthen our running community. And let's be real honest, this running community, as great as we are, we need more. We always need it to be stronger. I know it's super tough times right now. Like, everything is up right now. Gas is up, food is up, inflation is up, interest is up, everything is up. And so when money gets tight, you have to cut out things. And of course, one of the first things you're going to cut out would be maybe like the extracurricular running activities or the constant race registrations. I know that is the easiest thing in the world to cut. That's why so many races are struggling right now. Even the Casey Hustle Run is struggling right now. We're still trying to get the bills paid. We're not completely there yet, with just a shade under a month to go. So I understand it. I understand why all this is difficult, but ultimately worth it if you can do it. I'm not saying sacrifice a meal for a race. I'm certainly not saying that, but I understand where the struggle is. But anything that we can do to help strengthen our community, I hope that we will do it, because I love the Kansas City running community. I think we're the best. I mean, and I still, it's so funny. I still love my Boston group. All the folks the charity folks that I did Boston with, they were such amazing people, and I still think about them fondly from time to time. And I can't wait to cross paths with them again. That's another running group with a very strong bond of really good people, and so I want you to find that kind of a group, here in town or wherever you might be listening at. If you're any of those lovely ladies who listen down in Texas that I know about, I hope your running group is thriving and kicking ass. And anyone else, wherever you might be, go out there and find your running group. Tell them about your favorite running podcast, and then just strengthen, go out, go forth, and kick ass. So, sound like a plan? Cool. Any questions? Anyone? Nope. We're good. All right. Well, then I think we're just going to go ahead and wrap this one up for the day. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of the Back of the Pack podcast. I think next week will be episode 75. Either this one was or next one is. So, hey, we're getting close to 100. And I think that's kind of cool. You guys still listen to me. You put up with my nonsense, and that's pretty awesome. So This has been the Back of the Pack podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Walker. My pleasure as always. Show is brought to you by OKKC Sports and produced by Katie O'Neill. We'll see you next week. This week is ridiculously hot with all sorts of air quality issues and excessive heat whatevers. So everyone be super careful. And then we'll see you Sunday out at the, oh boy. Oh my goodness. Here at the start of the show, I told you guys I was going to let you know. It's the brain injury. No, it's, the Seize the Day. The Seize the Day 5K. There it is. Woo-hoo-hoo. That was bad. That's coming up Sunday morning. We're in Corporate Woods. This is really just our, preview for the KC Hustle Run. But yeah, Sunday morning in Overland Park, the Seize the Day 5K. There we go. Jeez Louise. That's where we're going to be at next. So have a great week of training. Stay very, very safe. Drink lots of water, and we'll see you next week.